What is it that they really want? That they are driven by the money that profession makes, occupation makes. Some people want to get into certain things not because what that career entails, but rather so they could have photo ops all the time. Be honest with yourself. What is it that you really desire? Now, if you desire financial success and you want to get there fast, then there's certain ways of doing that, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to podcast number 4 with V&V. Well, how are you doing today?
Excellent, Vrind. How about yourself? How are you?
Good. I think these podcasts have just been flying in, pouring in, getting a lot of love. Still haven't gotten our entertainment teams behind it. It's just been organic, online audience, new audience clicking in. And I've got messages pouring in from our podcast last week. So kudos to you.
Kudos to yourself.
Great discussion. I think the idea behind the podcast was to set up or build a brand around Dr. Sabharwal. I think we're both just,
add around Vrind.
We're both just elevating our brand, I think, further.
Absolutely. I look forward to this.
Awesome. Today's topic, I want to touch something different. I see a lot of, again, the youth seems to be like my primary focus a lot of times. But today's topic is relatable to, I think, everybody. And I want to set the topic today around life skills.
Okay.
And in particular, what type or what sort of life skills are required for individual growth, personal growth. And if you want to have a successful career, what sort of skills or mindset might one need to elevate? So open up.
That's a loaded question. I personally believe it depends on where that individual is in their journey to where they want to go.
Okay.
Are they at the beginning, the middle, close to achieving what they want to achieve? Have they achieved what they want to achieve but still want to go further? The skill set that one requires is in actuality a mindset.
Right.
A mindset that growth is continuous.
Perfect.
Growth does not stop. Learning is a journey. It does not stop.
Couldn't agree more with that.
Right? You go to school. Say you go to professional school.
Yes.
I went to dental school. The day I graduated from the University of Toronto in 2001, yes, my degree was done.
Yeah.
But my learning wasn't.
Right.
Right? So that's part of the mindset that one should have. However, when I was a much younger individual, when I was a student, I thought there were trajectories in my life.
Right.
I would finish dental school, everything would be done. Yes. I wouldn't have to be a student again. No. I thought that when I finished my degree in mathematics, I wouldn't have to learn anything thereafter. Right. No. Continuous learning is one mindset one should always have.
So then, does an individual need to hone in on a particular skill? So I'm going to open this up a little bit more. As you know, I coach a lot of youth. This opens up. We've got a lot of organizations. We've got several brands that we work with. Everybody feels like they're good at everything. And is that necessarily, everybody feels like they're good at everything. Is that necessarily the right approach to life? So, for example, you have an organization. In that organization, you have salespeople, you have ops people, you have HR, you have, management. But then there's some particular roles that everybody wants to be in. Mm-hmm. Let's say sales might be a more flashy and fun role. Everybody wants to do sales. And, an editor in a creative company might not have the most fun role, but his role is so vital to the organization's success. How do you say to one that develop in your particular field and then maybe try to, go outside your lane?
So your question is, if somebody wants to be a jack of all trades and has not mastered even one, how do you tell that individual to stick and be a master of that one trade?
Yes, you just kind of shot this one home. I was trying to be a little bit more nice about it, but you really honed in on it.
The unfortunate reality is, you're telling somebody it's not going to cut it until they're not ready to listen.
Okay.
Until they're not ready to receive your message.
Right.
Take your constructive criticism, your observations, so it could elevate them.
So maybe the podcast will do that today.
Perhaps, you never know. What I find challenging
Yes.
is, again, this is out of personal experience. I find that a lot of things in one's life
Yes.
have to do with their mindset.
Okay.
Is your mindset open for criticism?
Right.
Is your mindset ready to steer you in a direction which perhaps you believe is not in your best interest, but may actually end up being in your best interest?
Fair enough.
However, this is a very fine line that one can cross, because sometimes in life you do have a passion.
Yes.
Perhaps you're not good at it in the beginning,
Yes.
but you could practice,
Yes.
you could train yourself, you could put in all those hours, all the effort, all the education or training or whatever you need. And sometimes there are people who have innate talent. It's just, is it coming out?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, tough question.
So, because another further elaboration on this, like, I see at the office individuals be popping up, like one guy, like you'll have a mortgage license, then you'll have an insurance license, then you have a real estate license. It's like a license factory, with all due respect to everybody watching. Why not just hone in on that one skill? Why not just do real estate and do it to your best of your ability? Why not just do mortgaging and do it to the best of your ability? I think everything, because I think from an outside world, they might see that Dr. Sabharwal is a dentist, and being a dentist is easy. And then they might see Vrind, and he's a surgeon. Being surgeon is easy. I'm not talking about the degrees and the time, I'm just talking about a particular job. When people see these jobs, they just think that, it might be easy to do their particular job. And I think that's not the case. I think anybody that's successful at what they do, they put in the time, they put in the dues.
So,
Like I've had people look at me in entertainment, God's grace, I've done well. People look at me and think maybe they've done it overnight. That's not the case. The hours, the sleepless nights, like I'm passionate about what I do, but I didn't jump into 20 things, right? Like I picked something and I really went after it and I enjoy it. Then we open multiple brands. Once we've kind of, start to establish one, then we went into something else, then we went into something else. So that's my mindset here. What do you do to get a message out to everybody today that focus on that one particular skill set and enhance it before jumping into like multiple boards?
I would really suggest to everybody
Yes.
who is contemplating doing something in their life to, first of all, have an honest conversation with themselves.
Yes.
What is it that they really want?
Yes.
For instance, I know for a fact that some people choose certain professions not because they want to serve, not because they want to help, not because they want to heal, but they are driven by the money that profession makes,
right,
or what that occupation makes.
Yes.
Some people want to get into certain things not because of what that career entails,
yes,
but rather so they could have photo ops all the time, right?
Right.
So be honest with yourself.
Yes.
What is it that you really desire? Now, if you desire financial success,
Yes,
and you want to get there fast, then there's certain ways of doing that, right?
Right.
Perhaps the professions isn't the way to do it, right?
Right. There's so many trades,
So many trades,
right? There are electricians, plumbers. There are good, valued, respectable trades.
Absolutely.
But there's no such thing as quick money.
There's no such thing as honest quick money.
Right.
There's no such thing as honest quick money.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as quick money.
We're not promoting that.
We're not promoting that, right? But people need to be aware of that.
Yes.
However, having said that, first of all, be honest with yourself.
Yes.
What's your end goal?
Yes.
What is it that you really want to do?
Yes.
And I believe it's a challenge for those who are young because they don't have the experience.
Yes.
They don't have the experience of what they want to get into because they haven't seen enough.
Yes.
They haven't seen enough of life.
Yes.
So it's a challenging thing. But at the end of the day, if you have made a choice, then do your level best to get well trained and to be a leader in what you do, to be an expert in what you do. And sometimes in life, if you believe that perhaps what the career path that you chose
Yes.
is not the way you want it to go,
Yes.
because it's not fulfilling for you,
Yes.
it's not challenging for you,
Yes.
it is not fulfilling your basic requirement
Right.
of your being, then there's no harm in changing paths as well. right? That too is part of life.
Of course.
But coming back to your question, how can you, as an individual, tell somebody on your team who wants to do everything but isn't good tremendously at one thing? I wish you good luck on that one.
No, it wasn't meant for me or you. It was just meant, overall, like one thing I can respect is somebody who's hardworking. Something that confuses me, it's not about respect on the second term, is that somebody just, rather than, again, that word I use, honing in on one skill, just jumping from one set to the other set. How do you develop yourself as an individual, right? You can't, because you're not focused. I remember you and I were having a conversation a couple of days ago, like you got to read about something, you got to study it, you got to master the skill, and then you're good at it.
Yeah, with practice.
With practice. But if you're like, 1 year you're a dentist and you're like, I can't do this anymore. Then I'm a family practitioner. No, I can't do this anymore. I want to be a certain, like, are you really doing justice to what you've studied? No.
No, but they're at the same time. If you, for instance, go to dental school, you become a dentist, and you start practicing as a dentist, and you're miserable.
That's not good either.
That's not good.
Yes.
Right? I'll tell you
That's a different thing altogether, right? You're not happy with a certain life occupation, and you want to move on to something else.
But your tenet is that you want to try to do everything so you could maximize out of every single.
And you can't do that.
But you can't do that,
right? You
can't do it successfully.
I cannot give your full potential to something,
though you won't be able to,
right? So I just wanted to basically have this discussion today is because anybody, watching, I want to be able to connect with in the rightful way that, hey, listen, everybody's awesome. Everybody's got great skills. God's created everybody uniquely and differently. Somebody's tall, somebody's small, somebody's, fair, somebody's dark, somebody is from, one part of the world, somebody's one part of the world, somebody has hair, somebody doesn't have it. God has created everybody beautifully and differently. And we should respect that, embrace it. And once you embrace that, that leads you to embracing things in life. You should learn a lot of things. You should study multiple things. But when it comes to like career, occupational growth, I think you're not doing justice to yourself when you're trying to do 30, 40 things at once. I think, one or two things different, or relatable businesses, you're doing 2 or 3 things different. But when you've got like, licenses, or you're in an occupation where you're trying to do like 5, 7 things, how do you focus? I mean, it's kudos to the people that do it.
Successfully.
We'll do it successfully. But majority of the people, that's my opinion, there's no survey behind this, so that's my little disclaimer, are not successful at those 7 things. Because they just don't have the time for like, I can't, like with my scheduling and my assistant, like, I don't even know where my meetings are and how many times we try to get together. Like, if you just imagine, like...
Well, the truth of the matter is, life in itself is a balancing act.
Right.
You have to balance between your personal life...
Right.
...and your career.
Yes.
You have to balance between your relationships.
Yes.
Now, imagine your career is actually a potpourri of 5 careers. That's where you have to either be an extremely good person in that balancing act.
Yes.
Right? Or, if you're not, then you're not going to achieve success... You will not achieve the pinnacle of success that you could have because you have so many more moving parts.
Yes. I couldn't agree more with you. I think today's discussion on this particular topic has just been amazing. I think we understand the message we're trying to get across. So pick something, be good at it, dig at it, become successful at it.
Absolutely. And don't be shy and don't be ashamed if your first choice of your career, of whatever you want to do, doesn't pan out the way you want. You can always try again. Just don't keep on shifting.
That's it. So listen, I think the greatest success comes from multiple failures in most situations. So keep trying till you get that one thing that you're good at. Just trying things at the same time takes away from that one particular task that you're doing. It's like building a house. Imagine if there was no other people and you were the only one building that entire house. How long would it take? Right? But if you had 8 people working on different skill sets, boom, complete it. I think that's where I was really...
And they have to work together cohesively as a team.
Yes.
Right? You've got to work as a team.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Ray, for, again, making time to be on our podcast. I think there's a lot of traction. People are loving what we're discussing. And all I want to do through this We take out our valuable time and just to motivate people or at least help create some sort of mindset, because sometimes we're scared to ask people questions. And coming across a podcast like this, be like, yeah, why am I doing all these things? Let me just focus on that one thing. And if we get that objective completed with at least one person, we want it.
We've achieved our objective.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Sabharwal.
Thanks, Vrind.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.